What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to take a look at the payment schedule for Social Security in March. So we'll look at all the dates. We'll talk a little bit about what we expect to see happening when it comes to Congress in March as well. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. And if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so I posted a video about a week ago where I was talking about the Social Security Fairness Act, and I was showing you a clip of Representative Larson. He was talking about the Social Security Administration. The plan is right now for them to process everything when it comes to the Social Security Fairness Act, have that all processed by the end of March. And what that will mean, if they can do this, that will mean that I would think that they'll be able to start making those adjustments and sending out those checks, so the increased benefit checks. So we'll have to see if that happens. But right now, that is the talk, at least coming from one representative. And when it comes to Representative Larson, I trust that he's giving information that's accurate. And so we'll just have to see if the Social Security Administration can follow through and make this happen. Okay, let's look at this calendar here for payment dates. And the main reason that I do this is because you have about 10,000 new people becoming eligible for Social Security benefits every day. And so you have people constantly signing up for Social Security benefits, and they might not know when the payment dates are. And so that's the main reason that I talk about this. And then also people who are currently receiving Social Security benefits, it's always nice to be able to look at the calendar and see, okay, this is the day when I should be receiving my benefits. Okay, so let's start off with SSI. So starting off with SSI, we know that the first falls on a Saturday. And so what does that mean? That means that people receiving SSI, they're going to receive it the last day of February. Okay, so you're going to receive that check in February, but that is for March. So in March, you're not going to receive a check. Okay, so I just want to make that clear, because some people might wonder, why am I getting 2 checks in February? Or why am I getting 2 checks in January, or what have you? The only reason that would be the case is if Saturday or Sunday fall on the 1st, and then that would mean that they're going to advance it to you a day early. And so that's what we're talking about here. Now, when it comes to people receiving Social Security benefits and SSDI that started receiving their benefits prior to May of 1997, you're going to see your checks on the 3rd. And then when it comes to the 12th, the 19th, and the 26th, that corresponds with your birthday. And so people who were born between the 1st and the 10th are going to receive it on the 12th. People whose birthdays fall between the 11th and the 20th, you're going to receive your checks on the 19th. And people whose benefits fall between the 21st and the 31st, you're going to receive your check on the 26th. Okay, let me look at some of the important events that we are anticipating. Now, there are no guarantees here, but we are looking forward, hopefully, to seeing some of this actually transpire. So when it comes to March 14th, that is when the federal government, the Congress, needs to come up with the budget and pass a budget. And it needs to be signed off by the president. If they cannot do that, then we're going to be looking at a government shutdown. Okay, and government shutdown, once we get closer to that, we'll start talking about some of the ramifications that we could see as a result of a government shutdown. But right now, March 14th is that deadline. Now, this is for fiscal year 2025. Now, I know you're saying, well, fiscal year 2025 actually started October 1st of 2024. And the way that they have it, it's staggered. So October 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2025, that is fiscal year 2025. And so they need a budget for 2025. So they need to allocate money for spending. And they haven't done that yet. All they've done is kind of kick the can down the road, just said, you know, we're going to keep the payments at the same rate that they were back in 2024. But now we're going to, hopefully we'll see them put these appropriations bills together and then be able to pass something showing the exact amount of money that will go to all the different agencies. And that could mean that we could see some cuts to some of these different agencies. So we'll have to see if that if that actually happens. And right now with Elon Musk and Doge, they're trying to actually make cuts. So we could see Congress follow through with the recommendations coming from Doge. So we'll have to see if that actually happens. We do know that there's some more spending. They are talking about extending the tax cuts. So the tax cuts from 2017, they're talking about extending those. And that could mean a $1.9 trillion increase. We'll have to spend that over 10 years in order to provide for these tax cuts. And that's if it's temporary. So if they do it permanent, so if they make these tax cuts permanent, then that would mean it's going to be about $4.7 trillion. So it'll be more if it's permanent. Obviously, if it's permanent, there's no sunsetting of it. So if it's a sunset, then it would be a little bit less, but it's going to compound if it is permanent. So that's something else that you're going to hear a lot of politicians talking about, because pros and cons of both. We're in a situation where we're trying to pay down our debt, but we're going to be adding to that debt if we have these tax cuts. And the argument with that is, well, if we provide these tax cuts, it will stimulate the economy and companies will expand and do all this, hire more people, and people make more money. That's the argument for it. However, it doesn't always pan out that way. Back in 2017, they did the tax cuts. It didn't pan out that way. And we ended up adding, I think, like $2 trillion to the debt as a result of those tax cuts. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the potential of a government shutdown. Now, early to mid-March, SSA budget hearings. So we should hear some hearings when it comes to SSA. And this is important. I want to tune into this because I want to find out how much money does the Social Security Administration currently have? How much are they asking for, especially when it comes to the Social Security Fairness Act? Are they going to be able to implement this? Do they need more money in order to implement this? We know some of the answers to these questions because they've already come out and said we need more money in order to process all the changes that would need to happen when it comes to the Social Security Fairness Act. But I want to hear them on the record talk about this and see how Congress responds to it, because it'll be a hearing, so you'll hear Congress people talking about it. Are they in favor of providing more funding, or are they not in favor of providing more funding? So that's something I want to tune into. And then the last one here just says throughout March, they're going to have different hearings, different meetings where they're going to be talking about retirement. They're going to be talking about Social Security reforms and things like that. So we'll definitely tune into those as well. So all in all, the major thing that we're going to be focused on is the budget. Are they going to be able to pass these appropriations bills so we won't be looking at a government shutdown? That's going to be the main thing that we're focused on. And then also, are they going to lift the debt ceiling? Is that going to be a part of this bill? Now, what they're working on is what they call a reconciliation bill. And a reconciliation bill you only need a majority. So you only need a majority in the House already, so they can pass that. But when it comes to the Senate generally you need 60 votes in order to pass legislation. However, with the reconciliation bill, you don't need the 60 votes, you just need a majority. Republicans have a majority, so they'll be able to pass whatever they want in the House and then pass it in the Senate, and then it'll go to the president, he signs off on it, and it will become law. So that's what we're looking at. And Democrats did this a few years back. They had reconciliation bills that they were able to pass. And so this is nothing unusual, but this is kind of this is an advantage because Republicans are controlling the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They can move their legislation a little bit easier, and they can move it much easier than it would be in a regular situation where they need the 60 votes in the Senate. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.